Hi everyone! Welcome to ECE Labor Recognition, a podcast for ECEs to learn, share, and recognize their professional journeys. My name is Riti, and I'm joined by my group mates Erin, Yolanda, Ishani, and Deanna, and here we're going to share our voices, points of views, and stories about entering into the field. We hope you enjoy! Hi there! In today's episode, we're going to start giving an overview of the field. We want to share with you what we know is happening out there, what our worries are, and what our wonders are. So stay tuned with us in today's episode on Overview into the Field.
Hey everyone, welcome to this first episode. Thank you for being here, Yolanda, Shani, Erin, Riti. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for making this possible. So today we basically gonna talk about the field. So how is the field right now? What we know about the field? We are 5 students that we just gonna enter to the field, and but this point, I have to say I'm a little bit concerned because we already heard like most of our international students, not all of us, but like a few of us are international students. We kind of like are trying to understand what is going on in the field. We have this passion going. We want to give our best, but when I look at the field, girls, I have to say I'm scared. I don't know about you.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first thing I am very concerned about is the wage. I mean, the average is $20 an hour, and I was researching what a livable wage is in Ontario, and it's a livable wage is $25 an hour. So there is no way to survive on just being an ECE, which is what I'm really concerned about.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, one of the things I know that I'm not gonna make myself rich being an ECE, but I just expecting to have like a normal life because I mean, like I just wanna be recognized for whatever I'm doing. And I know that working with children is very hard, it's very tough, but I wanna like a decent, basic, like human right being fulfilled. So yes, that's 100% true. One of the things that we are actually concerned is about how much we have to work and how much we recognize like in basic things. I don't know, what other things do you think are like right now kind of the concern that we have to look at?
So when Riti was saying about benefits, so when we were doing our research, remember we found out like 1/3 of licensed early childhood, like educators in the workforce, they don't get the health benefits, and that number equals to the like non-paid leave or overtime pay. So it's like almost like a full 70% they don't have like pension. So when I think about it, like that's we don't have any security, when we like say we don't have pension. So I was thinking like as easy, it's not an easy job, it's a really hard job. So with the inflation and we don't get the wage we deserve, and then we don't have any benefits, plus we don't have any pension. So it's kind of a I'm worried. I'm really worried about that.
So basically, don't get sick ever, because otherwise you're not gonna be able to pay bills. That's basically what you're saying, Ishani. So we
Which
don't
is
have
such an
benefits.
unreasonable expectation because we're working with children.
I
There's
know.
germs everywhere. Like, it's so unreasonable to expect to not get sick when you're working with children. And most parents, I've learned, they do not care if their child is sick, they're still going to send them to school
I mean,
because
we have
they have to.
experience with that, right? Like when we go to placement, half of them are sick and they're still coming.
Yeah, all throughout my 3 placements, I would be getting sick at least every 3 weeks, at least. And it just happens because you're working with children.
And that makes me think also about the huge gap that obviously because those conditions we have. I mean, in our field. I mean, there are like many places, you know, like families are desperate because they need to send their children to a place, you know, where they can be safe, sure. But there also like a lack of like educators, because obviously who wants to work in a place that you cannot get sick, which is human based, you know, like a human being gets sick because we are humans, and germs and bacteria, some, like, you know, life happens. So when you think about that, and you feel like a people need desperate places, safe places for children to be, but they're also not educators to support and educators to be there for those children, that's when you feel this is, I mean, this is kind of hell. How is happening. And also I was looking at the, like at the data the other day, and it says like there are like a huge amount of educators registered in the College of Educators, you know. But also when you're gonna see where those educators are working, they are working in non-licensed places, so that make more complex the situation. Not only they just have like a the children of the family, they don't have any kind of regulation and probably quality, because if you don't have regulations, why you gonna provide quality? But family also are like being in those places because they need the place. But also we as an educators need to, that we need to work. So we just enter to this field to be maltreated. This is not something that I was like totally I wasn't, I'm not expecting. I don't know if you have another point that we can highlight here for everyone who is listen to this episode today.
Yeah, I think even now talking about the sickness or affordable bills in Toronto, there's kind of a data showed in 2023, last year, the average of the early childhood educators range between $17 to $25 per hour. And I also talked in the agency where I had a placement recently, the last one, and there is the workers there. It says there is very limited room of improving. She said she was working here like about 8 years ago started, and during this all 8 years, first 3 years her wages improved from $23 per hour up to 25. Then the funny part is like the government has $2 per hour to add to the educators. And she said in that agency, if your salary already reached to $25, that $2 were not added. So you have maximum $25. And even though government gave you extra $2, you are not going to receive. This is something hard, difficult for me to understand. Because the reasons the agent says because your salary already reached to $25, so this $2 is not going to go count into your wages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we totally need a better workforce strategy. Like we need to change the way that we are recognized and we are like seen also. Because one of the things that made me think, Erin, when you were talking is like we are not only people washing after kids, you know, like I don't want to disrespect like whatever all the people that is like doing right now care work, like babysitters or even moms like work like washing or like taking care of all their children, you know, not their own but all their children too. But we are more than that. We are professionals. We take like a two full years, very high demanding careers or programs, and all other people take more years, like a full career, doing this, to just being seen as a, you know, as a babysitters or as a people who just take care of children's. And we are more than that. We know that those first years of like life are like very important for the kind of people, of the kind of individual that we're gonna be later on, right? So it's kind of like for sure do we need to think about how we kind of gonna stand up for or speak up for our ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that the working condition in like the ECE field nowadays in Canada is like it's very pathetic and it's really like it's not very optimistic, I would say. I'm at this point, I'm scared to step into the field because, for example, the first due to like the sick days that as you mentioned earlier, and like as I can observe in my previous like placement, I can see that like my mentors and some of the other educators in the field, they usually have they because of the sick day, so they are scared to, you know, leave their positions and they know that there's no one going to like make up the position. So they always work with like wearing those raised guards. So which means sometimes even that they feel that they're painful or feeling not well of their body, but they don't have time to ask for a leave to go to the doctor and to get it like better. So they can just work with these wrist guards on and continue working because of the 6 days and also because like they don't have like time to heal themselves up. And even for like for us, for as like students who was working in the placement, because of the schedule, it's like very like we can't right ask for a leave. So sometimes we don't have time to go to the doctor or even dentist. So our health condition has been severely impacted by that. And we don't even like I feel like most of the positions in Canada, they should have the right to drink water, drink coffee, go to the washroom, whenever they want. But for our position, like honestly, Indiana and really, do you really have the freedom to do that whenever you want?
We don't. Like honestly, I remember, and to be honest, I used to drink a lot of water. Like I
Mhm.
used to, I used to, but right now, like for the time I've been
I
here, and
know.
I remember how many times I go to the washroom when I'm in placement, and to be honest, are just two. And it used to go. I mean, I'm so sorry for the people that is listening to this, and it's like I hear this story. Like I know this is funny, but I think most of educators can relate with this. And is, to be honest, we don't
Yeah,
go to
I
the
totally understand.
washroom. Oh my God. So we are condemned to get old so soon because if you don't drink water, that
Yeah.
means that you're not only gonna looks like a old all the time, and that's I know that is superficial, but it's important to me. But it's also like it's gonna compromise your health. So
You're right. I completely agree with that. So like in my previous placement, and I can imagine like in the future, like it's a long-term thing, right? It's not just for a short term. As long as we work in this field, I feel like at first I was afraid to drink water because I'm afraid to go to the washroom. Like every time, because you need to notify, and it's kind of embarrassing too, because you need to notify everyone, right? Like the other educators in the room and to notify them that you need to go to the washroom. So at first I was really scared to like drink water because then you have to ask for a leave very frequently. And that's kind of embarrassing. And
And this is like we are not even regarded as the, you know, for the
yeah,
ratio, right? We are not in the ratio even.
yeah, right. So in the future, I feel like it's hard, but I mean like in the long term, it's bad for our health. Right. So I mean, so that's why, like I say, like in nowadays the working condition, it's pathetic because we're taking good care of the children and we are educated in a college to take a 2-year course to get the RECE like certificate. But actually, who's going to take care of us? Who cared about our health condition? And the most important thing is as professional educators, but we are not getting the professional paid, which matches with our education before that and our, I mean, devotion to this field. I feel like it's totally unfair.
Yeah, I want to mention something while we're talking about bathrooms. Actually, what reminds me is the actual working environment of ECE. So what I noticed all throughout my placements, in my very first placement, there was no staff bathroom. The bathroom the staff used was the same as the preschoolers. So the toilet was not at the regular size of an adult. It always smelled like there was no staff bathroom, and all the storage was in there. It was not safe. It was not good. And then even staff rooms, the first placement I was in didn't have a proper staff room. It was just so tiny that only two people could fit in there. The second placement I was in didn't have a staff room at all. We just sit in a classroom where the school age kids were in school throughout the day, so we'd be sitting in that classroom. Or sometimes we'd just have to go sit outside, or if someone had a car, they'd go sit in their car. So it's actually, the working environment is not very inviting for an ECE.
I totally understand that. It's like being working as ECEs. I feel like even if we don't mention about the wage, the others, the working conditions, we like at least me, I don't feel like being respected at all. And we don't have a decent working condition, right? To provide us good care. Like as I mentioned to you guys earlier, so we like in my first two placements, we don't even have a staff room for us to eat our food during the lunch break. So like I have nowhere to go during my lunch break. So what I'm gonna do is like no matter, thank God it was not winter at that time. So otherwise I can't imagine how it worse can be. So I have to walk around the school site so to find a place to sit, right? And yeah, it's like I don't have anywhere to go. We don't have a staff room. So this is like very embarrassing. So and I found the other educators, they all have the same difficulties just like this. So what they're gonna do is they're just going to sit in the halfway, the hallway, or some of them they might drive, so it's better so they can sit in the car, but it's really hard for most of the educators.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we know that the field is tough.
Yeah,
And
and no, sorry for interrupting because Riti mentioned the her first placement staffs are using children's preschoolers toilet chair. Actually, it's not like matching the AQI standard. So this is the a little bit funny part, like we have so many documents, outlines to follow, requirements, but actually even basic standards we're not really following, and so not everything is like not being like how to say that
It's
standard.
like we're not being fair. It's just not fair.
Yeah, it's
You
not fair, just very embarrassed. I
Yeah,
can
it's
say.
insulting. That's actually insulting.
It is insulting. Yeah, it is totally. I totally agree with that. This is what makes me feel awful, except for the wages. So that's another story. But I mean, like, I feel embarrassed and I can't believe that like the people like the people who take good care of these children, right, so are being treated like this. I mean like this really need to be changed, otherwise there's like nobody's can like hand on there and work in this position, take good care of the children for years, because otherwise like who's going to take care of us, right? We cannot hand on their basic to our based on our health condition, so we must leave. I mean, so if this doesn't improve then I think there's no future for this field. It's not just about the education or about the professional knowledges, right?
Exactly.
that's why like one of the things that you make me think is, and that's why one of the reasons that most of students are quitting their field. And
Mhm.
that's totally another episode. We can like talk about that in the next episode or so. For now, we need to wrap up people. And I just want to say something that I know is like unpopular. And I don't know if you're gonna share this with me, but I think that because the reason we do this is because we care about children or families, and we are passionate about our job, and because we actually want children to be happy and families to be like care in and sure and feel safe that they are giving their children in a very good space. We must to fight for this field. And that's why everyone that is listening this, we know that this is the reality, and we know that this is what's gonna happen when we go there, and we know what are we facing now. And in order to improve this field, in order to do something for all the situation that's happening, we must fight. And that's the kind of reflection that we want to leave to everyone here. I know it's not going to be happy, it's not going to be easy. I know that we probably going to have a really hard time to be happy. And many of us probably going to leave the field because the situation, this is true, this is real, this is life. And many of us, we don't have that kind of like possibilities because again, as Yolanda mentioned, we have to take care of us because we have families, because we have children and stuff. But many of us also can stay and fight. Otherwise, this is not going to change. And we know how impactful this is for societies. So yes, let's do this together. Let's keep walking. Let's keep open these spaces for us to give us the opportunity to talk about all the things that concern us. And this is basically what our podcast is, a safe space to talk, a safe space to say wherever it is happening for us, and how we can actually look for the support and help. This is everything for today. Please join us in the next episode, an episode that we're gonna have for our podcast, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Well, that's all from us for now. Thank you everyone for joining us. We hope you can feel some kind of relation to our experience. Please be part of the change. You can also follow our Instagram and spread knowledge to recognize early childhood educators' labor. Follow us on Instagram at ece.advocacy2024. Have a nice day.